Well, welcome to Visit Luzerne County Show, my friends. And, you know, we try to keep up to date what's happening in the county. Tons of things happening, okay? You can always go to their website and you can learn a lot more what's happening here at the Visit Luzerne County office down here in Wilkes-Barre. And with me, joining me this month is Alan Stout, who is the executive director. And Alan, how are you been?
I'm doing fine, Sam. How are you? How were your holidays?
Well, they were great. You know, when you get a chance to spend with the family, as you know, we had a good time.
It's all that matters, right?
You didn't eat a lot of turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy, did you?
Not too much, no.
Just a little bit, yeah.
No.
See, you tall
More the
guys,
cookies. I
you
love
tall
the
guys
cookies.
can get away with murder.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, you can eat as much as you want. You have a little belly. Little small guys like me, we eat so much. We gain 10 pounds.
Yeah, you could put it on when you're taller and not, you know, take it off before people even notice around.
I know, right? So I'm glad to hear family's okay.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
so we have, I know we have a special guest coming on after the first break from the Penguins, but let's talk about what's happening from now until the end of January.
It's a great month. I mean, you know, a lot of people, you know, the holidays are so exciting, and you sort of have sometimes the post-holiday blues because, oh, I look forward to them so much. Now what can we do? We have a couple of months of cold weather, but there's great stuff happening here in Luzerne County and throughout northern Pennsylvania all month long. You know, the legendary Disney on Ice, which comes to the arena every year, pretty much has become a tradition here in northeastern Pennsylvania. That's coming to the Mohegan Arena on January 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So you'll have 4 days to get the family out to see that. It's great for the kids. Of course, Disney, a timeless institution here in the United States and all over the world. And it comes here to Wilkes-Barre every year, and it's just a tremendous show. So I highly recommend, if you've got, especially if you have kids of that age, getting up to the arena on the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th for Disney. Our Penguins, who we're going to be talking a lot about during the second half of the show, because we have Amanda and Nick from the Penguins here with us. They have home games on the 3rd, the 4th, the 18th, the 25th, the 26th, and the 29th. So you've got 5 home games coming up in January to catch the Pens on the ice. And of course, our friends at the Kirby Center. Just a magnificent venue. I always like to remind people, because I know that the broadcast of the show goes outside of Luzerne County. So for those that are watching outside of the area, the FM Kirby Center is a beautiful 1,800-seat, gorgeous theater on Public Square in downtown Wilkes-Barre. The theater itself goes back for decades, probably almost 100 years. It was remodeled, refurbished in 1986 to become the FM Kirby Center. And it is really one of the crown jewels of Luzerne County. And they have some great stuff coming up. They have a show coming up on the 9th of January called The Wild World of Animals Live. This was voted one of the top 5 edutainment shows in the world. By that they mean it's a combination of educational and entertaining by the International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions. It's performed in 36 states. They've got 13 different types of animals ranging from reptiles to birds to mammals, and it's a great show at the Kirby. You could take your kids, you could learn more about nature, learn more about these animals, and enjoy an awesome night at the FM Kirby Center. On the 18th of January, there's a tribute show coming, and I'm gonna test you, Sam.
Okay.
All right, little music trivia. Big hit from Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers. They did a duet together back in the early '80s.
Islands in the Stream.
Islands in the Stream. He got it.
Yeah.
I knew you'd get it.
Sure, because I'm brilliant.
So they have a tribute show. It's called the Kenny and Dolly Tribute Show. It's coming to the Kirby. It features, according to the promoters, remarkable vocal likeness, stunning costumes, and an engaging stage chemistry between these two performers who perform as Dolly and Kenny. And of course, we know Islands in the Stream has got to be a part of the show. I imagine that's how the show ends.
Yes.
It's probably the encore. On January 30th, Grammy-nominated country star Lee Brice. He has had 8 #1 hits. He comes to the Kirby. And then on the 31st of January, the legendary Casey and the Sunshine Band. who have so many great disco hits from the 70s, and they're coming to the Kirby. So great stuff at the Kirby, great stuff at the arena. If you want to get outside of the county just a little bit, just 45 minutes, less than an hour away, down to Jim Thorpe. One of my favorite venues is Penn's Peak. Just a gorgeous concert venue. That place was built for music. That's its only purpose. And they have great shows coming up in January. They have a tribute to Foreigner on January 11th. Foreigner, of course, were just recently inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Lou Graham from Foreigner just did a show at the Kirby last month. But Double Vision, the tribute to Foreigner, will be playing all those hits at Penn's Peak. They have a tribute to the Rolling Stones. It's called Satisfaction, and they are the International Rolling Stones tribute show. We had them at Rock in the River 2 years ago. They kicked off Rock in the River 2023 for us, and they were amazing. Guy has a great likeness to Mick Jagger. A lot of those Jagger moves. The band sounded great. And so that's on the 18th of January. You could catch that at Penn's Peak. And on the 19th of January, the very next night, All You Need Is Love, an all-star celebration of the Beatles, will be at Penn's Peak. And so that's a state-of-the-art production with visuals, creating an immersive experience that will transport the audiences through the golden era of the Beatles. And so great stuff right down the road. There's two ways you could get to Jim Thorpe from Wilkes-Barre. Some people like to go, through the Hazleton route, and that's real close for our friends in southern Luzerne County. And some people just like to jump on the turnpike.
My band used to play there. When I was I had my band in college, we used to play. It's a beautiful place.
Jim Thorpe at Penn's Peak? Just tremendous. And so a short drive away from anybody in Luzerne County. If you want to get outside this month, there is great stuff happening. I mean, some people like to become hermits because they don't like the cold, but there's a lot of people that it doesn't bother them at all.
They enjoy it.
And if you want to get outside the city of Wilkes-Barre, they have free ice skating on Public Square. They set up a rink right on the square that's open all the way through the middle of February. And on the weekends, they'll even give you the skates. So you could go down on Saturdays and Sundays, and they have free skate rentals. And get out there, get some of that cold, crisp, hearty outdoor winter air in your lungs, and skate around downtown Wilkes-Barre. Ricketts Glen, some people still like to do the trails. It's obviously the #1 attraction in Luzerne County. We love Ricketts Glen. And if you wanted to get out on the trails, you can. The only thing, I did speak with the park about it on the phone the other day, just wanted to make sure I had my facts straight. As long as you have the appropriate ice hiking gear, you're allowed on the trails in the winter, and you must check in at the visitor center on the top of the mountain at the Ricketts Glen State Park office. They want to know you're out there, and they want to make sure you have the right gear.
I can imagine what it is in the wintertime, because I've done them in the summertime, it must be really interesting.
If it gets cold enough, the falls, believe it or not, even though they're moving water, they will freeze. And I mean, not totally, but
they look beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous. And so if you're interested in that, just work with the park office on that, and they'll let you go out there. They just want to make sure that you have the right equipment and that they know you're out on the trails. And of course, here at Montage Mountain, and our friends at Lackawanna County, just really a few miles over the county line, you could head up to the mountain and you could hit the ski slopes, you could snowboard, or you could snow tube, of course.
Do you ski?
I do not. I wish I did. I wish I took it up younger. I'm like one of those things where, am I too old to learn now? Probably not, but I think I'd probably just be more comfortable, like I've done a few times, sitting in the tube.
Well, you get snowboard.
Yeah, well, that's probably just as hard as skiing.
Is it really?
I would think so. But the tube, I'll do the tube. I've done the tube. Take the kids up, sit in the tube, go down the hill.
So really, there's nothing going on in January.
No, it's real light month.
Wow, it's amazing. Again. If someone will, bump in, if I'm at Boyer's supermarket in Hazleton, Sam, I saw this show with, Sarah. I didn't know this, or I didn't know that. And, there's so many things happening. Now, remember, my friends, if you want to learn more about what he's talking about, go to their website, and you'll be able to get a lot more information. But bringing visibility to these places is great. There's a lot more to do. The places that we talked about, you've experienced some of these places, haven't you?
Oh, I mean, obviously been to the arena hundreds of times probably, and the Kirby Center the same. Penn's Peak. I saw a great Paul McCartney tribute act at Penn's Peak last winter. Had a great time there. And of course, our Visitors Bureau is a sponsor of the ice skating ring on the square. We sponsor that every year. It's the third year now they're doing that, I believe. Ricketts Glen, I've been out on the trails.
Yeah.
And so certainly, and I've been up to Montage too. So yeah, I've done them all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it if I didn't do it.
Coming up next, we have Interest in the Penguins, another great asset to our community, and learning a little bit what happens inside the Penguins. For a lot of you who want to know what happens with the hockey players, we have a lot more information for you. Just stay with us. Well, welcome back to Visit Luzerne County show, my friends. Learning a lot what's happening in Luzerne County. We're here at the Visit Luzerne County office. Beautiful office down here in Wilkes-Barre. We heard from Alan Stout, talked about a lot of great things happening in January. Now, joining us are people from the Penguins, Amanda Cromer, and we'll be talking to Nick Hart, who is the communication director, right after Amanda. Amanda, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Tell me about you. You're the business development manager.
Yes.
So what do you do as business development?
So I oversee our Goals Foundation. It's our charitable organization. We have a 501c3. So we are just raising money to put back into the community. We want to break barriers on and off the ice. So any way we can help with programming, in-school programming, out-of-school programming, just giving back. So,
what have you done so far with the, and how do you obtain the funds?
So we have a couple of signature fundraisers that we do, and then just, little things throughout the season as well. One that's coming up, we have a Pens and Pins event that's coming up at Chaco's in January, and we pair a Penguins player with a team, and they bowl. Have some pizza, soda. We give out some awards for highest scores. It's a really fun afternoon, and you get to hang out with the guys in just in a casual setting, and it's a big fundraiser for us. We also do a cornhole tournament. We call it Frozen Pond. So we will use the ice over at the Toyota Sportsplex, set up cornhole tournament right on the ice. So you're out there on the ice, like a frozen pond. It's pretty fun. So that's another big one for us during the season.
Now these are fundraisers.
Fundraisers, yes.
Okay. So give me an example of what will you do with the money that you raise?
That we raise. So depending on what's needed in the community, we do donations to different organizations. We help to host American Special Hockey League. So during our off season, the American Special Hockey League holds a kickoff at our Toyota Sportsplex. They do a modified form of hockey for individuals with developmental disabilities, intellectual disabilities, giving them a chance to play the sport that they love. We get people from all over Pennsylvania come in for the day. Some stay a couple days, and they put on a good program, but we help to support that.
And how does one get involved with that? I mean, to come to the event,
So it is on the Penguins Facebook or Penguin social media, I should say, and goalsfoundation.com. We'll have a ton of information on all of the events we have, but when that one's coming up.
And does it show like where, some of the places that you would be helping with the funds? Yeah. Because a lot of people, they don't mind donating it, but where's it going?
Where's it going? Correct, yes. We do have an annual report that is on our website as well, showing, where we've put our funds, what we've donated to. Throughout the community, we get requests all the time for tickets, donation bag, or swag bags, things like that for fundraising. So a lot of our funds go to that as well. And then we do a Tickets for Tots program. So we allocate a lot of funds to give out tickets to individuals, families, organizations that might not have the opportunity or the availability to come out to a game. So we just ask them what they need, they tell us, and we send them tickets.
That's great. Because some people like to, if they want to donate, I want to put my money and donate for this underprivileged show that you're doing or whatever, they can do that. Well, that's great, yeah. So what are some of the upcoming games? Or will Mr. Hart handle that?
We can both do that if you like, but we have January, our next pretty big game coming up will be Crosscheck Cancer. It's presented by Geisinger. So we have hair pinking through our Goals Foundation on the concourse, and that money goes back to Candy's Place, or that's the Cancer Wellness Center. So fans can come and have their hair streaked with pink or any color that they like.
It's good to see that you don't realize that the organization is involved in the community as much as they are.
Yeah.
My experience, my daughter-in-law is a big Penguin fan, and so you got to come down. I went to my first game. Okay, well, I want to go to Pens. I'm not into hockey, a whole bit till you get there. Right. When you get there, it's a whole different ballgame. I mean, I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden people are screaming and yelling, and wow, all of a sudden you come alive, and I said, what the heck? And then you see the game, and if you have to love it, after you see it. So it's really a great night out. So it was an experience I never had, but when I got there, I really enjoyed it. I figured, I'm like, let me go just to see. Right. But I was happy I went,
Good.
I think what's nice, to your point, Sam, is there are some sports, football, for example, even baseball to a certain extent, which I love, which you do have to understand the rules and what's a down. Why are they kicking now? Why are they running now? Why are they passing now?
Yeah.
Hockey, there is a lot of nuance to it, and there are positions, and each player has their role on the ice. But if you don't understand any of that, these guys are trying to hit the puck into that net. Those guys are trying to hit the puck into that net. It's kind of like basketball. Yeah. And so you can enjoy the game just as much.
It's a lot of fun.
And that's all you need to know.
Well, we're going to come back and talk to Nick Hart, who is the community director and broadcaster. Okay, now he's taking my job. Okay, we'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Visit Luzerne County Report, talking about a lot of great things happening in the county. We happen to be talking about the Penguins, and if you haven't gone to any games, you got to go to the games. Nick Hart, who is the communications director and broadcaster. All right, tell me about the internal things that happen with the guys and the player on the ice, etc., and give me the scoop here.
Well, the skinny on our function, if you will, in addition to being a great bastion of the community here in Northeast Pennsylvania, is that the American Hockey League is a developmental league for the NHL. We are the AAA league, if you will, for the NHL. So every single one of our players is trying to get to the NHL, or they have played in the NHL and are trying to get back to that level. All of our players, or I should say most of our players, are contracted by the Pittsburgh Penguins and then assigned to us. And then there's a handful of players that are assigned to AHL contracts by us, but guess who's footing the bill for that deal? It's still Pittsburgh. So the NHL club is heavily invested in the success of the team that we have here in Northeast Pennsylvania, and all of these guys are putting it all out there every single night to not only get the win at the end of the game. That's why we play, right? You play to win the game, but also further their dreams and further their careers of playing at the top level of professional hockey.
What do they have to do to prepare? I mean,
it's actually pretty wild what some of these guys go through to prepare for games. They'll have extremely intricate preparations on a game day when it comes to, say, the morning of, you'll go to the rink and you'll go through a skate just to get ready for the game later that day, get a touch of the puck, get the muscles all loose, go through a stretch, go through a workout. They like to get their nap in the middle of the day, and then they'll come back to the rink and they'll go through another warm-up, get themselves all tested, ready to go. This is just on game day. Practice days, they'll be on the ice for an hour, hour and a half, fine-tuning their skills. Even when practice is over, some of these players will stay out for an additional 30, 40, 60 minutes to work on little things on their own time. They're spending time in the gym, busting their backsides. We have our own personal team chef, executive chef, who's making sure these guys are eating clean for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so they're putting the proper fuel in the Ferrari so that they can not only play well that night or the next game or beyond. We got a 72-game season and then hopefully a long playoff run after that. You have to make sure you are in tip-top shape throughout.
These fights now, I mean, is this like staged or are they actually fights?
Oh yeah, this is not WWE, this is not sports entertainment. Yeah, these guys will get angry at each other. For the most part, fighting, what people don't realize, it's not so much, I don't like you, you don't like me, let's exchange fisticuffs right now. There's a little bit of an element of the game that is policing itself. You're running around like a madman beating up on some of my more skilled players. I'm going to step in and play sheriff and let you know you can't do that. And if you want to step up to me and don't like that, now we'll drop the gloves and we'll fight here. There's a little bit of a code, if you will, that goes on the ice when the referees necessarily can't step in. Sometimes they go for a little vigilante justice. That might be outdated for some people, but there are a lot of people that come to the arena and love it when the gloves drop.
Nick, is that like in baseball with a pitcher? You hit one of my guys, I'm going to hit one of your guys?
It's very similar. Now, of course, hockey being a more physical game in general, like there's a lot of hitting that goes on that you can't necessarily seek retribution for. It's just part of the game. But players know whenever they feel like that line is being flirted with, being crossed, that they'll try and squash it on their own.
The reason he brought a point up with baseball, because when I was interviewing a manager once on my set, we talked about when they get thrown out of a game. Well, he says, sometimes, he says, Sammy, we ask to be thrown out of the game. If our team's doing so badly, we start a fight with the umpire and we say, look, throw me out of the game. I'm going to scream and yell at you, kick it, but throw me out of the game. Okay? And so, yeah.
I'm surprised he told you that.
Yeah, well, yeah. And I said on the show, you know, I got, yeah. But let the fans know you did something and you're screaming and yelling. So I'm just wondering if some of that's an act. Now, there's two ways of looking at the fighting on the ice. If you're bringing your kids there, you know, and they're playing, you know, you don't want them to simulate punching their friends out, you know,
right.
on the ice. So you got a minute left. What do you have to say?
That this is a fantastic team that we have here this season. It's a young team. I know the line that people have been saying for years is that Pittsburgh has no prospects. The cupboard is empty. This team this year is proving that to be a complete misnomer. It's been a sensational start to the year under first-year head coach Kirk McDonald, and you still have 20 games, home games left this season to come on out and cheer this team. They've been a fun time every single night without exception. So hopefully they have a blast like you did with your experience.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, if you've never been to a game before and you're not interested in hockey, just go for the experience, and you'll want to do it.
You'll be blown away by the speed of the game. People don't realize how fast the game happens.
So you're the broadcaster too, huh?
Yes, sir.
What do you say? And now here's Sam Lassant, number 65. Is that what you?
Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. And then do that for 2.5 hours, and hopefully there's no overtime or shootout, and I can be bed on time.
Is that how long it takes? 2.5 hours?
2.5 hours, give or take. Once again, you get into overtime. Shootouts can be a little bit longer.
Well, you get to know some of the players, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're all nice people.
Exceptional young men. That's another thing about this team this year. Not only are they great on the ice, we have a collection of awesome personalities away from the rink as well. It's a really fun team to cheer for and invest in this season.
A lot of parking. Everything is in good shape.
A lot of parking. People don't realize this. Parking at the arena for Penguins games is free. I know people sometimes say, oh, the ticket costs this much, but the parking, that's where they really get you. No, it's included in your price of the ticket for Penguins games. Not all events at the arena, but for Penguins games, you won't have to pay an extra dime for parking.
The Visitors Bureau, we'd like to thank you both for all that you do to bring professional hockey to Luzerne County and northeastern Pennsylvania. It's something that we know brings a lot of people, not only from our own community out to the games, but from out of town as well. And so we appreciate what you do very much.
And we appreciate the support of the people of Northeast Pennsylvania. It wouldn't be nearly as fun for us if these people weren't having fun cheering us on.
Good time. My kids
We'll
love
look
it.
forward to seeing you. Okay.
Thanks so much, Sam.
My friends, don't forget, get to a Penguins game. It's a lot of fun. Plus, as Alan said in the beginning of the show, there's a zillion things happening in January. You don't have to be depressed with the cold weather. Some people love the cold weather and love the winter, love the skiing, etc. And we just wish you the best. We'll see you next time.